Hello, welcome. Today we'll be talking about everything that you need to do before you start investing. Number one, calculate your net worth. What is net worth? Your net worth is simply the total value of everything that you own. So grab a piece of paper and write down everything of value that you have. This could be your car or the money in your savings account, your checking account, any investments that you have, or maybe some real estate that you have. Make a list of all of that. And then make a list of everything that you owe. This could be your mortgage, your student loans, your credit card debt, whatever it is that you owe, make a list of that. And what you do is you'll take the value of everything that you own and minus everything that you owe, and that will give you your net worth. So let me give you an example. Imagine I have $10,000 in my bank account, and then I have a car that could be sold for $15,000. But at the same time, I also have student loans of $8,000. So what would my net worth be? Well, it will be the $10,000 plus $15,000 minus $8,000. So my total net worth will be $17,000. Focus on this number and think about ways that you can make it bigger. So basically, before you start investing, you need to take a 360-degree view of your finances and understand exactly your financial situation. Number two is pay off any high-interest credit card debt. If you have any credit card debt, the wisest thing that you can do is to pay it off as soon as possible. So the average credit card interest is 20%. Do you know what this means? This means that you need to find an investment that can also pay you around 20% average return a year in order to make up for whatever amount that you're paying in your credit card debt. And boy, is that difficult. Trust me, there aren't that many investments that can consistently pay you around 20% return a year. But not only that, paying off your credit card debt will also improve your net worth and your monthly cash flow. Number three, make sure you have an emergency fund. Life can be full of surprises. So on the one hand, you have an investment plan, but what happens if you lose your job or your car breaks down or you have to pay some other unexpected expenses? Your investment money should never double as your emergency fund. Ideally, your investment should be held over a long time of at least 5 years. So what you want to make sure is that you have a savings account, ideally an online savings account where you can keep some money that will be able to take care of whatever emergencies might occur. Number four, eliminate your worst spending habits. No, I don't mean avocado toast or your latte or whatever fitness class you signed up for. What I'm saying you should cut back on is all those random purchases that you make and then forget about the next day. Think of it, that random drink that you saw at the grocery store and had to try out but didn't like. Or maybe that random pizza that you had last night at 2 a.m. Or maybe that random item that Amazon suggested for you and you thought you had to try. So watch out for those things and don't spend your money on any of these unnecessary items. Number five is you need to figure out what your goal is. One of the key principles of investing is to never invest without a purpose. This is because then you won't be able to assess your time frame and risk for investing. Trust me, time frame and risk are two very, very important factors when it comes to investing. Number six is evaluate how comfortable you are with taking on risk. All investments involve a certain amount of risk, and what you need to know before you can start investing is that you could potentially lose some or all of your money. This is true even if you buy your investments at a bank. On the flip side, the reward for taking on risk is the potential return that you might get from the investment. If you have a financial plan with a long-term investment horizon, you're more likely to make strong gains if you invest in a wide range of categories. Which brings me to number seven, consider an appropriate mix of investments. By investing in more than one asset category, you are reducing the risk that you'll lose money. So historically, the returns on three asset categories, like your stocks, bonds, and cash, don't all move up and down in the same manner. Meaning that conditions that might cause one category to do well might cause another category to not do so well. So what you need to do is have a good mix of investments that can counteract each other. So when one is doing bad, you have another one that can do well. Number eight is you need a healthy understanding of your investment options. Do you know the different investment options that are available to you and how to interpret them? Do you know what are the basics of a stock, a bond, a mutual fund, an ETF, an index fund, precious metals, or real estate? Do you know how to compare two similar investments to each other? You need all of these skills before you can start investing. If you don't already know this, don't worry, I got you. That's what I'm here for. What I will recommend is to pick up an investment book and give it a read in order to understand the basics of investing. And even if you have an investment advisor, you still need to understand where your money is going and what sort of things your money is getting invested in. Number 9 is you need a bank that can handle online banking with ease. Before you start investing, your bank should make it easy for you to do online banking and any automatic transfers. Why? Because you'll need to set up automatic transfers if you want to set up some sort of like regular investing plan. Finally, number 10, you need a social circle that is supportive of your financial moves. As you switch your mindset to focus more on your net worth and make smart financial moves, you also need to be aware that you are strongly influenced by your social circle. If your social circle is committed to the same financial goals as you, it will make it so much more easier for you to achieve your goals. Now, I'm not saying you should leave your friends. If your social circle is not supportive of your financial goals, then maybe you can join an investment club, or you can find other ways to meet other people who also have the same financial goals that you have. I know starting to invest can be quite daunting, but I hope that with these tips, it will be a little bit more manageable. And that, my friends, is the tea of the day. Cheers! As always, please don't forget to subscribe.